There's one thing that could be holding you back as a reseller, and it's not discussed a whole lot, but maybe you're just not cut out for being a reseller. So I'm going to talk about that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flip It Ain't Easy. And yeah, this job may not be for everyone. Why do you resell? Why do you do it? There's so many other ways to make money in this world. And is it because you've recently lost your job? Is it because maybe it's all you know and you've been doing it for a while and the idea of going out and getting a job just isn't for you? Why is it? What is it that keeps you going? Because here's the thing, there's a lot of us out there, and I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of resellers out there, and you're probably one of them watching right now, that decide that you want to resell, okay? And you watch these videos, you incorporate things that maybe help you maybe make more sales and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you look back at your performance, there's a lot lacking there. Maybe you're not consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. Or maybe you're just trying to get through the process of maybe listing or dealing with eBay. Maybe you're only devoting a couple hours in your day, if we're being honest with ourselves, to the actual process, which is your shipping, your listing, your sourcing, right? Add it all up. Maybe you do 5 hours one day, 1 hour the next, but maybe you're only averaging 2 to 3 hours a day when this is supposed to be your full-time gig. The question you may want to start asking yourself is, do you even enjoy reselling? Because see, I think it takes a special type of person to really succeed at reselling, and you have to really dig down deep to figure out what is the motivation. Why do you keep coming out to your workplace, like for me, out to my garage, and do this day in and day out? And is your performance maybe better the day after you get, let's say, a really good sales day, or is it worse on a day where maybe your sales are just in the tank, in the toilet? And then it just self compounds that you're having a bad sales day, you're having maybe a bad sales week, or maybe a bad sales month, and then you think to yourself, well, what's the point? Why do I even do this? And so that's what I'm asking you today. Why? Why do you resell? I can answer for myself. I've asked that question many times to myself. I've had discussions with my wife about this. I have a pretty good resume. As I may have mentioned before, I've won national awards at the company I worked at, and I did a hell of a job. And I think a lot of that translates over to eBay. Now, of course, you guys know I left the company that I worked at because I didn't have much of a choice. It was either step down for management, take a huge pay cut, move 3,000 miles away from where I was, or take a severance package and just try to figure it out. And I tried to figure it out. And at the time, I've got to tell you, I was selling for years off and on, and as a part-time reseller, it was not something that I enjoyed all that much. I came across opportunities to resell, and I did it, but there's other things that I was focused on, like my career and just spending the rest of the time with family and friends and just doing the things that I wanted to do. To put 40 to 60 hours into a full-time career and then do eBay part-time, which is kind of what I was doing to supplement my income, it was a grind. It was not an enjoyable one, though, and I have to be honest with you. Now, for whatever reason, after I left the company in the beginning of 2019, well, it wasn't much of a choice. I knew a lot about reselling. I didn't know everything. I learned a lot after becoming full-time, watching a lot of this type of content on YouTube. But I just kind of threw it in the wind and see where it was going to go, and it led me to really starting to enjoy. And it was, I think what happened was, it was my work ethic that I was able to carry over. And finally, I had to say to myself, after like the first month or two after leaving my career, that, you know what, for right now at least, this is my full-time job. This is my career, and I need to apply everything that I had with my full-time career into this eBay gig. And once I did that, I noticed a huge change. So, I wasn't doing anything different. I was doing everything that these YouTubers were telling me to do with my listings, with my sourcing. It was about the motivation, the drive. And as soon as I realized, look, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am now. And every day I'd wake up with a little different mindset. Maybe you guys wake up in the morning and dread, I got to list 10, 20, 30, 40 items today. And you do it, but you have that first thought in your mind is dread. It may not be for you. And I'm just being honest. My mindset, I recover at the end of the night from a hard day's work. I try to unwind, but when I get up in the morning, I don't dread it. I look forward to it. As crazy as that sounds to some of you, to others it might not sound crazy at all, and it may make a lot of sense. So to me, there's just two different types of people, and I think what makes someone successful in this business, and I'd have to say it's the drive. It's the internal drive. I'd even go as far as saying it's the work ethic. How is your work ethic? Some of us, and there's nothing wrong with this, there's nothing wrong at all with just being real with yourself. Some of us need that boss to give us direction on a daily basis, to give us that pat on the back when we do a good job. Whereas us, like myself, I don't need that, okay? In fact, I think having a boss was in my way when I was at my last job. We can talk all we want about your listing, your photos, your price. You can be doing those things, but if you're really not doing it, if you're writing it in, if you're maybe listing a couple days a week and you're doing something else the rest of the week, but yet, if we're being honest with ourselves, we're kind of claiming that we're full-time, but we're really not. To me, full-time reselling is focusing your mind and energy. Your main part of your business is reselling and nothing else. Then you do that every day, 5 days a week. Give yourself a couple days off if you need to. And even then, you're still thinking about the business, still in the app, answering questions, launching drafts, doing the things that someone would do if they own their own business. Because let's say if you owned a restaurant, right? Do you think you would be really successful if you went into the restaurant 5 days a week to check on your staff, your employees, and the other two you just kind of forgot about it? I know for me, if I ever had a restaurant, and it's crossed my mind, I'm a pretty good cook, but that's not in the cards for me. But if it was, I would probably be involved in the business. Even when I was on vacation, I think I'd be calling in, at least checking in with the management to find out that everything's okay. And I kind of look at your app as an extension of that. You don't have anyone working for you if you're like me. Maybe you do, and even then, even if that's the case, if you have someone working for you, it's even more imperative that you're really self-driven because other people are relying on you. But if it's just you, like in my case, I'm on my own island here. If I fail today, I don't have anyone backing me up, okay? So, I have the app. I take it with me wherever I go. Someone asks me a question, if I get a sale, if something comes across like a cancellation request or a return, I get on it as soon as I can. I think first and foremost, my mind is so engaged in the reselling aspect. I can be in my bowling league and I'm on my phone sourcing between balls, and it's just the way that I'm wired, and I'm always on the go, go, go. Now, no one's saying you can't be successful if you're not like that, but it does help. And I think, maybe your motivation is finances. Look, I got to pay my bills. I got to put food on the table. And if I don't, hey, I'm going to be homeless or in a bad spot. And that's motivation in itself. But it's sad that it has to come down to that for some. where, you know, they're just kind of in cruise control and they don't take it as seriously as they should. So this video was maybe not informative, but maybe hopefully get you in the mindset to think, why do I do this? Why is it that I turn to reselling? Is it for fun? Do I have another way to make money? Is this just supplemental to my income? Or am I full-time and maybe my mindset is wrong? Because see, a lot of resellers have this mindset that, you know, they're working for themselves and they can set whatever schedule they want. They can be, hey, I can take tomorrow off on vacation. I can just write it in and maybe do double time tomorrow. But eBay don't work that way, and most businesses don't. If I had a local convenience store that was only open 2 days a week and it didn't have a set schedule, it just every once in a while it was open, I would start looking for another place to go and buy whatever I need. I wouldn't be able to rely on them. And I think eBay is a lot like that, and the algorithm is a lot like that. If you're not reliable, putting in the work every day, even when you're off and you're putting in maybe 30 minutes worth of work by just launching your drafts and stuff like that, you're going to notice it in your sales. And I think a lot of us maybe need to be real with ourselves, and that's why we're not making the sales, is because we're not focused the way a full-time reseller should be focused. Want to know your thoughts on this? Please comment down below. While you're at it, hit that like button, of course subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I make a video. And I'm trying to launch more videos, maybe once a day, Monday through Friday when I can. And hopefully this message resonates with some of you. I figure it won't resonate with all of you, because many of you guys out there doing a hell of a job running your eBay businesses, online reselling businesses, and really don't need me to give you any kind of motivation. But for the rest of you who are just struggling with that end of it, get up and dread reselling, dig down deep. Maybe this isn't for you, but if it is, my suggestion is you really find a way to get yourself motivated and kick yourself in the butt to get these items listed every day. This is your job, and you will be surprised. The more activity you give eBay consistently, the more sales you're going to get. And it's something you need to try. If you haven't been doing it, give it a couple weeks of just every day solid listing, right? If you list 5 now, list 10 every day, okay? See what happens. See what happens in 2 weeks. I promise you it'll be better than what your results have been. That reseller mindset. Some of us is just ingrained into our work ethic and it's not a problem. For others, it's a challenge. And yet, it's just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent remainder of your week, and we will talk to you very soon.